Niddah Daf Chav Gimel. We learned in the Mishnah, Remeir holds that if a woman miscarries something that resembles an animal, she's completely tamei as if she gave birth to a vlad. There are three reasons given in the Gemara. Reason number one we had yesterday is there's Gzeir Shava between humans and animals. Now, the same Gzeir Shava, the word Yitzira, we find in Amos, which is in Ksuvim, regarding wind and a mountain. Says the Gemara, since it's Amos, it's Ksuvim, we don't make a Gzeir Shava from the Torah, where it says Yitzira Baya Adam, to Amos, which is Ksuvim. Second reason given by Rabbi Yochanan why Remeir says that if a woman miscarries something that resembles an animal, it's considered a full birth, because animals have eyes like humans, meaning their pupils are round like humans. Therefore, if a woman gives birth to a snake that has eyes like human, she would be tamei. But in general, the shape of an animal's eye is different than that of a human. And therefore, if an animal has the same shape, not the pupil, but the shape of the eye as a human, it's considered a defect when it comes to a bechar. Rabbi Yana gives a third reason. Why is it that Remeir says that if a woman miscarries something that resembles an animal, it's a full birth? Because an animal resembles a human in that his eyes are looking forward, are placed in the front of his head, facing forwards, and not like a fish and a snake where the eyes are on the side. The Mishnah talks about a bird that is metame. If a woman miscarries a bird, must be, we're talking about birds that have their eyes in the front of their face, such as an owl. Abaya will explain the Brisa, where the Brisa says Reb Chanina holds that Nirim Divri Reb Meir seems correct when it comes to an animal and a chaya, and when it says bird, we're going to have to stick in what kind of bird? An owl type of bird. And Chachamim, where they say that if a woman miscarries bird, she is tar, we're talking about the rest of the birds. There's another brisa that says that if a woman miscarries a bird, we have to check it. Now we could explain this away as is going according to Chachamim as well, in that we have to check that it's not an owl, because even an owl, Chacham will say that the woman is tamei. And why is an owl different from all other birds? Because its jaw is similar to that of a human. It's flat. It doesn't have like a snout like other animals. The Gemara says a very interesting story. Rabbi Yirmiyah tried to get Reb Zera to laugh. Reb Zera was very makbid not to laugh. Ilu malis choik pinu, we shouldn't laugh because of Churban Abayis. So he was makbid not even to smile. So Rabbi Yirmiyah tried to get him to smile, and he asked him the following question as a joke. He says, according to Remeir, that if a woman gives birth or she miscarries something that resembles an animal, it's considered a regular birth. What happens if the father of that animal is mekadesh the animal, which is a girl, to his friend? Is the kedushin toifus to the point where his friend won't be able to marry that animal? Let's say she gave birth to an elephant that's a nekeva. Could he marry the elephant's sister who's a human? And he wasn't successful, I guess, getting him to laugh. But the Gemara says the reason why the question is not really a good question when it comes to achos isha, because the vlad has to be viable. In order for achos isha to take effect, both sisters have to be alive at the same time, and this elephant mass is not going to survive. However, Remeir says, even though it doesn't survive, since in the wild elephants do survive, it's b'minoi kayam, and therefore it's considered a viable birth, and it's a vlad, and the woman is tamei. According to Remeir, if a woman miscarried something that resembles an animal, and then she had a regular son, that regular son gets double inheritance like a bechar, but you don't do pidyon haben, because the first birth is considered peter rechem, and it takes away the chiyuv of peter of pidyon haben. But according to Chachamim, the first birth is not considered peter rechem, because this animal-looking thing does not have the shape of a human. However, even according to Chachamim, if a woman miscarried something that resembles a sandal, now we have to say that she was pregnant with twins, and one of the twins got squashed, and now it looks like a sandal. Or if it's a shvir of a shilya, it's the afterbirth, the placenta, then we know that there was something inside there that was a viable fetus, and therefore she is tamei, and it's considered peterechem, and the second child does not require a pidyon haben. Says Rava, even if this animal-looking miscarriage could survive, the second son gets the bechar. It gets double portion in the nachla. Why? Because it says reish soinoi. It's the one that the father mourns over its loss, and the father won't mourn if his elephant-looking child dies. Gemara asks a very interesting question. Let's reverse it. What if an animal gave birth to a human-looking baby? Can you eat that human-looking thing? And the Gemara doesn't have the answer for this, but the Gemara does say that if an animal, let's say a cow gives birth to a pigeon, you're not allowed to eat the pigeon. The Gemara says, well, we can make a distinction between a pigeon and a human, because a human has a hoof. Maybe it doesn't have split hooves, but it has a hoof, whereas a pigeon doesn't have feet at all, doesn't have hooves. Now, according to Rameir, if a woman gives birth to something that resembles an animal, it's completely an animal, Rameir says it's a viable birth, she's tummy. The woman is tummy. According to Chachamim, no, as long as it doesn't have the shape of a human, it's not a viable birth. Now, what's very interesting is that according to everybody, if the body is that of a goat and the head resembles a human, even according to Chachamim, it's considered a viable birth. And reverse, if the body is that of a human and the head is of a goat, it's not considered a viable birth. That's very interesting because Rameir says that a goat is considered a viable birth. That is, only if the entire thing is a goat. But if just the head is a goat, that's not a viable birth. Now, the machlokes would be, what happens if it's completely human, but one of its eyes resembles that of an animal, or half of its face resembles that of an animal? So according to Rav in Rameir would say the words mitzuras adam. As long as it has a little bit of human in it, it's considered a vlad. And Chacham will say kol tzuras adam. It has to be completely human. In other words, you'd need the forehead to resemble a human. It would have to have its eyebrows like a human, its jaw, and its chin. But you don't need its eyes to resemble human eyes. But the Brisa says differently, the reverse, that Rameir is the one that says kol tzuras adam, and Chacham say mitzuras adam. So according to everybody, it would be considered a vlad. But according to Rameir, even a little bit of adam is considered human, and according to Chachamim, as long as it has half, or mitzuras adam, it would be considered a vlad. If a woman miscarries something that has one eye or one thigh, depending, if that one eye is placed where a typical eye is placed and the thigh is placed in its right place, then it's considered a viable vlad. However, let's say the eye is in the center and the thigh is in the center, then the woman would be tar. If a woman gives birth to, she miscarried, something that its esophagus is damaged, it has a hole in it, she is tameh because we hold treifa chaya, it could survive. However, if it's completely clogged up, she would be tar because it won't survive. Have a wonderful day.